everybody, this is Heather from Hooked on Pickin here. I have a really exciting video for you today. So, have you been working 50, 60, 70 hours a week on your reseller business and you just don't know how to get out of the rat race and make things move smoother and more automated for you? Well, I've got a couple of guys that I've been in contact with that I've gotten to know really well, and they have an awesome free live event that I want to kind of tell you guys about. It's going to be February 17th, 18th, and 19th. And it's called the Wholesale Formula. And I kind of wanted to just introduce you to the guys that run this. They're regular Midwestern guys that came from very humble beginnings. But I wanted to offer this to you. So if you're interested in it, you can click the link down in the description below. But I kind of interview them. They give us a little bit of their backstory and a glimpse into what the Wholesale Formula is all about. But have you ever wanted to move to that next level in your reselling business? Well, definitely watch this. Listen to these guys, find out about it, and I would definitely recommend attending their event. So here, let's get to know them a little bit more. All right, so this is Heather from Hooked on Pickin, and we have two special guests with us today. This is Dylan and Dan, and they are in charge of the Wholesale Formula. And so we kind of want to know a little bit about the Wholesale Formula, but first we want to know a little bit about you, because you kind of come from a similar background that I currently do right now. So a lot of my viewers are very familiar with I started with thrifting and retail arbitrage, and now I'm into liquidation, wholesale, that kind of stuff. But you're really going to kind of jump us to the next level with what you're going to talk about. But first, we want to know a little bit of backstory and, how you guys got started in this business. So whoever wants to go first is welcome to start.
For sure. Thanks for having us on, Heather.
Sure.
But yeah, honestly, I feel like we probably have a really, really similar background. I mean, I definitely grew up hustling. Like it's almost at this point part of our blood. Like when I got started with actually got started buying and selling Magic the Gathering cards when I was in college. And that's and that led to me selling on eBay, and eventually I had a video game store, and then I graduated college, and all those all the fun stuff kind of went away, and I got a job for a while. But the itch was still there. Like you still like, you see something out, you can make money on it, and you're like, oh man, and you have to do it. It's even like that for me today. Like I every time I see something out where I can make money, like I always find myself buying things. But one of the whenever I was working, one of the guys was in there and after work one time and was just packing boxes, and I was like, hey man, what are you doing? Like shipping eBay orders or something? And he was no, sending stuff to Amazon. And I was like, whoa, what is that? What do you mean sending stuff to Amazon? And he said, you can send it to you can send stuff to their warehouses and they'll fulfill the order for you. And I was like, whoa, that's super cool. And he's like, yeah, it's kind of like eBay, except you don't have to ship all the orders. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. Because that was the biggest deal for me in eBay. It takes all the people out there that are watching your channel that are active eBay sellers. Like, I know you're paying. Like, it's a lot of work. There's a lot of work, and yeah, bless you.
It's super time consuming. Yeah.
Right, answering questions, all those things. And when he said that, I was like, wow, like I'd love to know how to do that. And then I swear, like he'd been selling for probably over a year, but that was like the first time I'd really kind of caught wind of it. And it wasn't like 6 or maybe 8 weeks later that he came in and gave us notice. And this guy was the CFO of the company and made, well over 6 figures. And I was like, man alive, what are you doing? You moving or something? And he was like, no, man, I just make more money sitting at home selling stuff on Amazon.
Wow.
Wow. You have to show me what this is. So he took me out to a Walmart. He showed me how to scan stuff. And this was kind of, this was the Wild West days, like where you scan an item and by gosh, if it's just not more expensive on Amazon, like it doesn't, it seemed there was no rhyme or reason. Like there were so many products you could find just scanning in a Walmart toy aisle. And I loved it. Like I from minute one, like I was in love. So I started buying stuff. Like if I had time on the weekend, I was in a store And then after work, I would go to the stores, I would just scan aisle after aisle after aisle and find cool, find whatever I could to sell. And, between July and December of 2011, this was a long time ago. I'm saying, we're grizzled veterans at this point. But if from July to December, we had started with a $600 credit card, and in December we did $50,000 in sales. So, that's the cool part is like in this business, there's a lot of growth. There's a lot of scalability. And Amazon's just such a big place. There's a lot of opportunity. That was, it was amazing to watch our business grow like that. But I lost my job in December, and that kind of leaves you with a decision, right? Like, am I going to go back to work or what am I going to do? And so I decided I was going to go all in on the Amazon business, which was, I don't know if that was the best idea. Like, in my financial situation at the time, like I probably wasn't the best idea. Like I didn't have a ton of money in the bank. I didn't have, I had obligations. I had a kid, a house, just everything you could imagine that kind of stacks the deck against us as entrepreneurs. Right. And, but the one thing I had, and I think this will probably resonate with your audience, was a lot of hustle. Like, you have to have, whenever things aren't in your favor, or if if the deck's kind of stacked against you, you have to be grittier than the situation. And that was it. Like, if I couldn't buy my way out of the situation, but I could certainly work my way. And so that's what we did for the next year, is honestly like probably 60-hour weeks, 60, 70-hour weeks all the time, driving around, hunting stuff to sell on Amazon. In our first year, we did about $850,000 in sales.
Wow.
And, it was awesome. I mean, to be honest, like I feel like that was a really good year for us. And our margins were really good. Like, we definitely profited over $200,000. But I can tell you the thing that I thought most was, damn, I'm tired. Like you look back at this good year, you feel like you've done a great job, and the first thing you think is, man alive, I am tired. So the next year we decided we were going to work harder. We were going to try to like really grow the business. And that was the point where I didn't really know what grow the business meant, right? To me, grow the business meant do more sales. And there's lots of ways to accomplish that. And growing the business is not necessarily one of them. And so we worked harder, if that was actually possible. Like, I felt like we worked harder. I worked as hard as I possibly could that year. And we grew our sales to $940,000. But it was just, all this extra effort amounted to this much more in sales realistically for us. And that was the year where we were up against the wall. Like, it was just, wow, this is not sustainable. I can't just keep doing this. I don't have time to spend with my family. I don't have, I'm making good money, but heck, I can't even spend it. Like, I don't even have time to spend it. So we started looking for other models at the end of that year. And we fumbled around and failed a whole bunch. We started a retail store it was a retail specialty toy store in Corbin, Kentucky. As you would imagine, that didn't work out very well. Then we started an online website that sold My Little Pony cards. Also didn't work out as well as we thought it would. And that kind of just left us in that place, right, where it's like, gosh, I know I can make money with retail arbitrage, but golly, it's just, at this point, it's just the only way I can feel like I can make money. We tried private label and actually had our first product. Our first product took off like a rocket. Like, it's just a good pick. And it's I think that product probably generated about $200,000 in profit, $250,000 in profit over about three or four month period. so it was amazing. Like we were like, oh my gosh, we found the ticket. And then as it turns out, the competition found us and just was way better at Amazon than we were. Like they were way better at optimizing listings, running ads, and doing all the things to make your product seen. And our product died pretty quick. And then, the next 2 or 3 private label products that we tried failed. I don't know how many people can resonate with that. Just like failure after failure after failure after failure, and just don't feel like anything's going to work. And that's ultimately where we found Wholesale. It was the next stop in our journey, and it started pretty rocky for us. Like we went to trade shows. We went to the ASD trade show specifically, and then it was just doing the same thing that everybody else does, right? Like you go and you find a catalog, a distributor catalog or whatever, and just pilfer through it. And we just wouldn't find anything. Like, if the folks out there who are watching this, I'm sure you can relate to that if you've been to a distributor catalog where you just look at product after product after product, and there's nothing that's good, or maybe there's something that makes 50 cents or something like that. And it was a nightmare. And then came that was when we went to the ASD show. And I remember we bought a closeout with doing the research. And that one was rough. You scan that thing on your phone and it says like, here's the sales rank and here's how much it's selling for. And that was the decision that we used to buy all of, the product that they had.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be a disaster. Like it was like 2,000 units or something like that. It was, it was most of the money we had. We thought this was going to be a huge windfall. Like, honestly, we thought we were going to make a ton of money from this. And as it turns out, it was like maybe 1/10 of the overall closeout. And the vast majority had already been sold to other Amazon sellers.
Oh, bummer.
Oh, yeah. So by the time, and they probably took more than we did. So they actually had a better price, I'm sure. So by the time we got home and, the product started showing up, I looked, and honestly, the first thought hey, time to go get a job now. We are officially going to be out of business because the product had went down significantly. There was a lot more competition. And there was there was a lot more sellers on the listing. So like, not only was I not going to be able to get the prices that I thought I wasn't even going to be able to move the same volume that I thought I was. And I had the majority of my capital tied up. So we called liquidators, wholesalers, distributors, and, we ultimately, I think whenever things get really tough and you don't feel like you have a lot of options, that's the point where you get creative, right? You do all the things that you wouldn't ordinarily do. Like, I absolutely did not want to call distributors and say, like, hey, will you trade for my junk or buy my junk for me or whatever? Like, I would have rather just took that and happily sold it profitably on Amazon, but that just wasn't an option. So I called everybody I could find, and eventually I was able to trade that product for other crappy product. Like, it wasn't great product, but the point is I rather than have one SKU with 2,000 units, I was able to kind of parse that down to 20 SKUs with 100 units.
Sure.
So, it wasn't the fastest road to recovery, but we were able to start getting our money back, and it kept us in business. But that was like that moment where we had to, we really realized that it couldn't possibly work that way, right? Like, it just can't possibly be everything to wholesale. And I remember going back and for the next few days, we're looking for the next product. And that was kind of where we found it. It's just at the end of frustration, found the thing that worked for us and what we call reverse sourcing wholesale. And I remember looking over and saying, like, man, like we look we look through these catalogs and these sale sheets all day long, and we're always just chasing a product. But imagine if we just had the product and we had to figure out where to go search for it. And I was like, I just want to know where I could find this. And it was just a product that I had sitting on my desk. And that was the point where we started reaching out to, I reached out to that brand, and it was like, I said, hey guys, I would love to carry your guys' product. Do you know where I could buy it? And they said, yeah, man, like, I could send you to a distributor if you want, but we're happy to just set up an account directly with you. And I was like, wait, what? Like you'll let me buy from you? And as crazy as it sounds, like that hadn't really crossed our mind. Like we had always heard that these, working with a brand directly, they had huge minimum orders and they didn't want to work with little tiny companies. And it's just all these things that you hear and you just take as the truth. I mean, this company was willing to start us up. Their minimum order was $250, and they were tickled pink to work with us. So, when I saw like, wow, these companies actually will work with you. That became that was our next thing, right? It's like, oh my goodness, I just have to find every single product that would be good and just contact the company. And well, that didn't work out either. Like it didn't work out. But that's the fun part for me. The fun part is when something doesn't work and you get to figure out why it doesn't work. And the next 5 Amazon or next 10 Amazon companies we called said, no, man, we don't need any more Amazon sellers. We're not looking to sell to online sellers or whatever. And it's just like, what is going on here? Like, why do these crazy people not want my money? Like, it's just insane that they don't want my money. And I remember calling, and this is where like in business, I'm sure you've ran into this too. It's like you just have those light bulb moments where it's like, wow, things just make sense now. Like I get it. And we had one of those. Like there was a product, it was a supplement product that I'd been taking that I really, really wanted to carry. I knew a lot about it. I knew a lot about their company and everything, and felt like they honestly had the best product in the market because I'd taken their competition's products. And so I'd sent them an email, and they gave me that dreaded, terrible response of, we're not working with any Amazon sellers right now. And so I decided, you know what, I'm going to call these guys. Like I'm going to call them. And so I decided, I called and I was like, hey, I was looking for Bob. I'd received an email from him that said said you guys aren't working with any Amazon sellers currently. And it was Bob that I was talking to. And Bob was like, ugh, gosh. Yeah, man, like I'm in it. I don't want to work with any Amazon sellers. And it's just like, I was like, no, I get it, man. I'm sure this is, I'm sorry to bother you, but like, I'm sure this is a frustrating call. And he was like, yeah, I answer this call 10 times a day, and I have to tell everybody the exact same thing. Right now we work with two of the biggest Amazon sellers on the internet, and I have no idea what you could possibly offer me. And I was like, I'm sure I don't have any, I couldn't offer you anything that those guys couldn't. They have tons of resources. They're credible companies. But if you have like 5 minutes, like I was a customer before I emailed you to sell your products. Like I've been a customer for a long time, and I really enjoy your products, and I know a lot about it. And I started talking to him a little bit about his product, like, and so he would know that I actually understood it. And then I was like, if you got like 5 minutes, man, I want to talk to you about your listing and from the customer perspective and how you guys could improve it. And he was like, yeah, man, sure. And so I get him to go to his Amazon page. And when he gets there, he's like, yeah, cool, an Amazon page. That kind of attitude, like, why am I here kind of thing. And I was like, so this brand, right? And he's like, of course I know them. It's my competitor. It's our competitors. And I was like, you care to bring them up? And as well, like in a separate tab. And he brings them up. And the first thing he said was, wow. He had never been to their Amazon page. He had never been to his Amazon page. This guy they were manufacturers. They're not Amazon sellers. So, the fact of the matter was, when he looked at his page, it didn't look bad. But as soon as he saw it in comparison to his competitor's page, he saw what it could be. He saw that they had better pictures. They had full descriptions. Like, everything on their page was helped to make their product look more professional and appear better than their competition. And I was like, and he said, wow. And I was like, yeah, it's really nice. It's a really nice listing, isn't it? And I was like, so what do you notice? And he's like, I notice all of it. They have better pictures. They have better everything. And I was like, now do you know what the kicker is? Like, how do you guys do against these girls, against them in the real world? And he's like, oh, we dominate the market. Like, we have way more market share. And I was like, all right, check out and I showed him sales rank. And I was like, the funny thing is this brand's outselling you on Amazon. Despite you being, having the better product and all these things, they're outselling you. Why do you think that is? And he's like, obviously it has to do with the listing. And I was like, so you asked me, man, like, what could I do for you that, those guys couldn't? Nothing. Those guys could change this listing. They could probably make it amazing. But the fact of the matter is your account's 700 to them, and they have to remember to do it. The difference is if you work with somebody a small seller like me, it's always going to be on my mind. I want your product to perform the best that it possibly can, because it makes me the most money. And it's the biggest share of my income. Like, I couldn't be more invested than I would be into you. So, like, the one value that I can bring is you never have to wonder if this stuff gets done again. Like, you're my top priority. This is my cell phone. I'm the owner of the company, and you're my second account. And the guy was like, wow, man, I would love to work with you guys. Would love to work with you guys. And what that proved to me, first off, I'm not gonna lie. When I hung up that phone, I was at least 10 feet tall, and I probably had to take off my Superman vest to sit back down at the table. Like, because I performed well beyond my capabilities in that call. But you know what made it easy? The fact that I wasn't trying to sell. I just wanted to help. Like, if nothing else, it was, if he would have, I would have walked through that listing with him and he would be like, hey man, I really appreciate it. I'm going to take it to those guys. I wouldn't have been mad, because I was invested into his product and helping him become better. And, that's what we realized right there is, we don't have the biggest wallet. Like, I'm never going to be able to win orders and crush discounts, but I can be the small seller who's invested and cares about a brand and gets actual results for them, does the things that nobody else is willing to do, adds value in ways beyond my wallet. And that's really what started our wholesale business. It's like, we had done some transactions before then, but after that, the game had changed. We understood that our place in the market was to provide value and help companies. And by doing that, we could grow our business exponentially.
Yeah, that was the moment that everything changed. So that account that Dan landed right there, we ended up selling hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of that product. And it was like really, like, kind of overnight, just that one account kind of replaced all of our retail arbitrage income, kind of, very nearly. And it just, like, in that, just think about that. Think about, like, working 60 hours a week doing retail arbitrage, and then when one phone call, basically, you can totally replace all that income with a product that now comes, to you, or is sent direct to Amazon, kind of thing. So you, like, the ease of sourcing and the ease of acquiring product. It was like what we were always chasing. We failed a bunch of different ways, like Dan said, to try to be able to do this and figure out how can we make product come to us? How can we make this easier? And this was that pivotal moment where Dan truly figured out, this is how we can land these big accounts. This is how we can get people to work with us. This is how we can sell some of the best products on Amazon. And so we'll talk a little bit about that. So to give you some of the results of what transpired from there, figure that out. That was the first, like, primary account. And then we landed another and another and another, just based on what we had figured out there, using the same tactics and strategies, and then evolving them and getting better at it. So when we were full-time, our business was full-time retail arbitrage, doing somewhere close to about $1 million a year in sales, with working a lot of hours a week. But that first full-time year of wholesale, when we had made that change and figured all that out, and this was years of doing about the same revenue retail arbitrage year after year, like 900K, $1 million, 900K kind of thing, multiple years in a row. First year of full-time wholesale, over $3 million in sales. Second year of full-time wholesale, $6 million in sales. Like, and it just absolutely, doubling up fast growth. Really, honestly, there was a point where it was faster than we could keep up with. Things were moving so quick, we didn't know like what to do. You're just trying to hire people, you're trying to keep up with it, these are great problems to have. But it was a whirlwind of how well this was working. So I just want to like take some time now to really help everyone understand that's watching what our business model is and what is it that we do now, still do very successfully. We've sold at this point over $30 million worth of product on Amazon, over $30 million, probably close to having sold 1 million products now, something close to about 1 million products, well over 500,000 actual products on Amazon. And our business model is this. So traditional wholesale, obviously, you mostly work with distributors or wholesale companies to go through their catalogs of inventory and buy their products, or like we talked about. We don't do that. What we do is we go on Amazon first, and we identify products that would be a really good fit for us to be able to sell. Like I want to pick out best sellers on Amazon and sell those, obviously.
Yeah.
I want to find really good products and sell those. So the best place to figure out what are the good products, what are selling well, is to go find those products on Amazon. So we developed a formula. We developed I can call it a mathematical formula, just a really simple formula where we can look at any product on Amazon and know whether it would be a good fit for us to sell, and how profitable we estimate how profitable it would be for us if we were able to get a direct wholesale account with that company and start selling that product. So we had identified these products, and then what we do is we reach out, we contact the brands directly. We don't go through distributors, we don't go through wholesalers. We Google the company, we find out, what their phone number is, what their email address is, and we reach out to them directly, asking to open up, a brand direct, a manufacturer direct buying account with them, a wholesale account with them. And when you buy direct, when you're buying direct from the brand, direct from the manufacturer, you are buying at the lowest possible price. You're buying at direct prices. You've cut out middlemen. You've cut out these wholesaler middlemen, right? So you're able to get the lowest possible price when you do this, which if anyone here has experience selling on Amazon or really anywhere, if you have the best price, well, you get pretty much all the sales. Typically, that's kind of how it works. And so we contact these brands to open up those direct accounts, ask them to open up a wholesale account, let them know who we are, that we intend on selling their product on Amazon. And what they say 9 out of 10 times is, no, thank you. We aren't accepting any more Amazon sellers. We have Amazon sellers, or we have Amazon settled or figured out, right? And that right there, them saying, no, we don't want any more Amazon sellers, is the reason why our business model works. Now, I know that can be shocking, and I just want to make sure everyone understands that. The opportunity that makes our business work and that makes our business model work so well is because they don't want to work with us. What we do is we convince them why they should want to work with us. And we convince them by showing them and demonstrating them simple values that we can bring that really anyone can do, but no one is doing for them. Simple things, simple changes to their listing and upgrades that can help them sell more product on Amazon. Because the reality is, just like Dan explained in that first one that we ever landed, there are hundreds of thousands of products, if not, it's actually definitely millions of products on Amazon that sell well, but their Amazon listing is terrible. And if there were improvements that were made to it, it could sell significantly better. And there are so many opportunities of brands like this, where their products are available on Amazon, but their existing Amazon sellers don't do anything but sell the product, don't actually try to provide value to brands. So we provide value to these brands. We offer ways that we can help them, and we convince them. We take them from saying, no, we're not working with any more Amazon sellers, like Dan explained, to them saying, like, yeah, we actually would like to work with you guys. I understand everything you're saying. I like the things that you're saying. Let's work together. And then they'll allow us to become an authorized official Amazon retailer of their product. One of very few, because remember, they tell everyone else no. So we become one of very few one of maybe 5 or 6 or 7 authorized sellers of their products who have access to that manufacturer direct pricing, so that we can sell on Amazon, compete. And then we continue to provide value to them, continue to be a great partner with them. And what that many times for us transpires into is they will eventually make us the exclusive seller of their product on Amazon, meaning we're the only ones allowed to sell the product on Amazon, meaning there are, to this day now, what that's ultimately led to is we have accounts. We have several accounts who have a product that has a sales rank under 100.
Wow.
One in the pet category, a sales rank under 100, very, very routinely. Sometimes it bounces up above 100, but very routinely under 100 in the pet category. And we are the exclusive seller of that product. It's worth, that one account is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars in profit per year, that one account. And that's what ultimately you can do. That's what you can get yourself into. And that's how, like, where we've grown using that model. We own a real business now, that's doing millions in sales, and it is something that's actually scalable, right? Because you acquire those accounts, you acquire a wholesale account like that, and a direct account, but you're not outsourcing for inventory. We're not driving all over the southeast part of the United States.
You're not labeling every single item. Like,
right. Our work is all done from home. It's talking to these brands. It's working on in the Amazon account. It's fixing their listings. So it's all things that we can do from home. It's very scalable, and it's all something. And a lot of the work we're able to automate, outsource, and hire employees, virtual assistants from the Philippines to help us very early on is what we did. And we were able to grow and we did a lot of it by ourselves. And then we grew to the multi-million-dollar level and have continued to grow and have this success. And that's how it all started with retail arbitrage, scanning products in Walmart, that eventually to today has led to us doing over $30 million in sales on Amazon. And, I like to tell people, like, anyone can do this. You just have to be willing to.
yeah, you're just 2 regular guys from the Midwest.
That's right.
And Dylan had kind of touched on this, but it's like the coolest thing about our business, and you guys have got to see the full gamut. Like, my nose has been running, my eyes, like my allergies are off the hook right now. So if I start coughing again, I feel like I'm going to sneeze. Anyway, like, the thing that I love about this business is the actual scalability, and it's not just the scalability of finding products. That's amazing. Like, the fact of the matter is, I don't find our products anymore. I don't figure out what we're going to sell. We have employees that do that. They follow systems and processes, and that's what makes us have a business as opposed to a job. Like, the fact that those processes continue without me. Now, the same thing is true in logistics. I remember when we used to have a warehouse. We used to have a 10,000 square foot warehouse, which we got a killer deal on because it's Kentucky. Like, our 10,000 square foot warehouse was $2,000 a month. So it was, but there was a problem with it. Like, that's great. That's a great. We still had to operate a warehouse, and we're not like we're not great warehouse dudes. So, like, we weren't very good at it and weren't very efficient. And I remember, like, that was like always a source of problem for us, is like figuring out the day-to-day operations in our warehouse. And it always felt like we were trying to catch our proverbial tail. And then it was about 2 years ago. It might be a little bit longer than that now. We got the idea that, wow, we're going to start experimenting with using a prep center. And we sent, one order to the prep center. Everything went great. The next order to the prep center, everything went great. And it was like a 2-month period where we just transitioned everything, all of our accounts over to the prep center. We closed our warehouse. And now, that's what Dylan said is we are at home. Like, when COVID happened last year, we used to have a little office downtown that was just literally an office with computers. Like, we didn't pack or ship or anything out of there. And when COVID happened last year, we closed our office, and we've been working at home since March of last year. And and all of our products still go to prep centers and make their way to Amazon. So everything we do is sitting at home on a computer, finding the products that we want to sell. And
so with that little warehouse, you pretty much were taking the products that you were getting from these distributors and like processing them yourself to get to Amazon, correct?
That was insane. I remember one time where we had like, because we didn't think about how to schedule shipments, or we just ordered stuff when we ordered it. And there was one time where we had 3 different trucks show up, and we already had a warehouse full of crap, and it was like we had to figure out where to put 75 pallets. Like, what? I remember that.
I feel your pain.
Yeah, no, you know it. So it's there's a lot of things, but the point is a wholesale business can be exactly what you want it to be. Like if you want to process products and you love you love touching the things and all that stuff, it works with that. If you want to be the person, if you want to be only working from a computer and that kind of stuff, like you don't want to be out finding your products, it can do that. Like, I can work on my wholesale business at night. I can work on it in the morning. It doesn't matter, because the point is everything we do is systemized, processed, right? Like I send an email to a brand, they're going to read it the next day. Like that's how it works. There's so few restrictions on wholesale. And that's honestly been a huge source of our growth is the fact that, as we get good at an area, we can entrust that to employees and then leave it and move on to the next part. And it gives us that field of vision to see our business grow as opposed to, just what we're doing at the time.
Yeah. And it's great. Many of the brands that we work with, they're able to just ship direct to Amazon, right? So it never, it just goes that
60%, over 60% of our current shipments don't go to a prep center now. They just go directly to Amazon.
Yeah, we send an email for the reorder, and they just ship it direct to Amazon, which is fantastic. So that obviously that shows a lot of the scalability as well. And when we started having a lot of success with this, and it started growing, part of what happened was it freed up a lot of time. To get, like, well, and what do you do with it? What do you fill that time with, right? Like, went from 60 hours a week of retail arbitrage to the more that our business grew and scaled, and the more automated many of those things were, the more, because just like we were saying, like one wholesale account can be so valuable, or you can be earning so much money, and it doesn't require hours and hours and hours a week to be able to maintain once you've acquired it and done the work on the front end to help that brand, right? So you're able to scale and grow. So what's weird how it works, but as our business grew and our sales grew, the amount of time that we needed to spend in it shrank and now, so here's the thing about Dan and I. Even though now we had all this extra time, we aren't the people that relax, really. We're not like relax and sit by a beach and drink fruity drinks kind of people. We gained more time, but what we felt that we needed to do or wanted to do was utilize it to do other stuff. So really what our business enabled us, the success of our Amazon business enabled us to do all kinds of other things. Now we own, 12 houses now, Dan? You and I own 13 houses, but I guess considering our
14.
own home, the homes that we live in, when you count those.
No, I think we have 14 houses in the business now.
Right. Yeah. So we have an investment real estate company. We buy homes, remodel them a little bit, and rent them out. And we have enough to where I can't even remember how many that we have. But we also
How many have you been to?
Probably only 4, but not 6 at least. But that's what it grows into. I never could have, Dan and we don't have to get into this, right? But we had very humble beginnings growing up, obviously. So it's very crazy to think about that we've been able to buy 14 houses.
That was in the past year. That was in the past year.
Yeah, buy many of them just cash. During COVID, cash up front, buying a house, right? It's wild to think about, but that's what our Amazon business has enabled for us. But we also own several other businesses. We own a a graphic design company that we're able to have our ownership in. We own a virtual assistant placement agency that we have stake
And it all
in.
kind of stemmed from you first started utilizing these services like graphic design and virtual assistant and all that stuff, and so you learned about it, and then it kind of grew from there.
Yeah.
Let's just think about it. Like, if I can't, I'll just be, just be blunt. I can't do anything. Like, I'm a decent writer, but like if taking pictures, graphic, like making something look pretty, like definitely not this guy. And, it's funny because you said that. It's like a lot of these little splinter services now houses houses was just something that I.
Well, listen,
I
you
felt
live
like,
in a house, so there you go.
right, but all the other little services, like virtual assistants, we learned that that virtual assistants can play a huge role in our business. Like virtual assistants for us operate the vast majority of day-to-day operations within our business. And once we found out how powerful that was, it's like, wow, we can build a business around facilitating this, not only to ourselves but to other people. And the same is true with graphic, with our graphics design company. It's like we started using it so much that it was like, wow, we could just, we need more of this. So we bought stake in a company and have done our best to help it and make it better. But you're exactly right. Like everything starts, with our little ecosystem, based on the things that we're using in our own business.
Yeah, and our Amazon and wholesale was able to finance and provide us the income to finance all kinds of new projects. And now we have kind of a business empire. And another one of them is the wholesale formula, where we work with people, do teaching, training, consulting to help people or help businesses sell on Amazon or to become successful and learn how to sell on Amazon themselves. And in the wholesale formula, we teach exactly what it is that our business does and how we were, like step by step, what we do. And I'd be happy to talk a little bit about that too. We've actually got coming up, we do this typically a few times a year, right? Dan and I will do a paid event, a paid workshop. We used to do them in person, back when you could do things in person, right? We in-person events, work with people for a few days to teach them up and to train them how to build an Amazon business, a reverse sourcing wholesale Amazon business just like ours. And then COVID happened and we started holding those paid workshops. We held it virtually. And that went very well, very smooth, and everyone had really just a great experience. But once per year, we do these paid workshops throughout there, but once per year we hold one that for free. And that's actually coming up February 17th through the 19th. So it's a 3-day workshop where we'll be live broadcasting online from a very nice fancy studio in Charlotte, North Carolina, with lots of technology at our fingertips to be able to create a great experience for everyone. But from February 17th through the 19th, we are holding a live workshop to teach people how our business works and how that you can do it too. It's the Wholesale Formula live workshop. And Heather actually has a link underneath this video where you can register for that, and register to come and attend that workshop. If you check out that link below, there's a video that explains it, everything that you can expect, and you can sign up and get your virtual ticket and join us at the event. We only do this for free like this, typically once per year. It's a paid workshop the rest of the year, so it's an opportunity to get in for free. And it is live only. I want to reiterate that. It is a live broadcast, meaning there's no replays. Like you can't watch, I'll just watch the replay later. It doesn't work that way. We teach this live and that's it. So it's an opportunity to work with us live, talk, hang out with us live, learn from us live, and build your own. And at the end, you'll have everything that you need and to find your first wholesale product. You'll know our wholesale formula. We teach the formula, the exact methods that we use to find products that we sell on Amazon that we choose to sell. You'll learn that. And we'll also show you how to land the wholesale accounts. What are the things that we say? What are the things that we do? What are the actions that we take to convince brands to make us the approved, authorized seller of products? That's what we're going to teach at that workshop. So everyone is invited. It is free.
I want to talk a little bit about that workshop too, because I'm not sure that Dylan's doing it justice. Here's the. I remember the first time that we did one of these. It was a paid workshop, and everybody who attended loved it. Now, this is not like your typical webinar. Like we don't like Dylan said, we're going to be at a pretty fancy studio with a whole lot of tech, and what the experience that it creates is not like not just like watching something on TV. Dylan mentioned that it's live. Why is that? And it's because we want you to get the most out of the experience. Like, we want to be there to answer questions. We want to be there to help people understand exactly what's going on, because like for us, this was the difference in ultimately success and failure, right? This was the catalyst that gave us a better life. And honestly, I believe that everybody has that opportunity. So this live workshop it gives you the ability to actually interact with us, not just kind of watch and be like, well, I think I could do that. You can ask questions, you can be there, you can participate. And like you said, we're going to go through literally every aspect of the business. We're going to show you how we find products, show you how we analyze products to make sure that we're not going to just, do that thing where I bought the wrong product. Like, that's a disaster waiting to happen. And we're going to be going over that, like all of the different analysis points to make sure that you don't make a mistake. And after that, we're going to show how we go about convincing a brand to let us sell their products. Because like we said, the vast majority of brands, 9 out of 10 times, you're going to call them and they're going to say, I'm not interested. Well, how do you break through that? Like, how do you, what are the strategies that you use to break through that? And that's what we're going to be going over on that call and on that live. It's a live event. So like, if you guys are interested in wholesale, like, and it's cool because I know your audience is hustlers. I can see the stuff behind you. Like I know it, and it's, you don't have to this doesn't have to be one of those things where it's like, I don't even know if I want to do wholesale. Well, guess what? Like, if you don't know if you want to do wholesale, you should show up. Because you're going to learn more about wholesale than you've ever seen in your life.
And the fact that it's free and that we can like Q&A with you guys during the process, I think will help, because, a lot of, I've seen many a webinar where in this kind of reseller world, where people try to sell or teach or whatever different kind of things, and they use terminology that I don't understand, or they'll use processes that I don't understand, and there's no way for me to go, wait a second, back it up, I don't get it, and then you're lost halfway through the presentation, and so I'm really excited about the live event, because then you can kind of like address those as the process is going, and the fact that it's free, most people try to gouge you for money for that kind of stuff, and a lot of us don't have the money. I mean, like you said, we're hustlers. A lot of us start with small beginnings. I mean, I have a similar background to you guys. Grew up extremely poor, and so I think that's kind of what makes us hustlers. Really, we don't want to live that way anymore. So I'm really excited. So this is February 17th through the 19th is this live event. The link, it will be down in the description, and then so you're going to teach us kind of this whole process from start to finish.
Yeah, something really cool too that we're going to be doing at the event is so there are several different software that we use in our business to find products to sell, right? It makes it easier to find products. And at the event, we've worked a deal out with the software that we use to provide it for everyone. Will get access to it for free during the event. So for those 3 days, you'll have free access to the same software that a multi-million dollar Amazon seller uses, which is another. So that's another thing. At this point in the game, we're able to pull strings and convince companies to do these things for us, right? So that's another really cool aspect. You'll have that everyone will have that opportunity and access to. So for those 3 days, you can use that software for free, find all kinds of products that you would be able to sell. So take advantage of that too.
That's awesome. Like, I'm super excited just to learn more, because the whole 60-hour week thing, that's me some weeks, and so yeah. I would like to get out of that. I'd like to spend more time with my family, and I'll probably be like you guys and find something else to fill my time and, things like that. But I'm really excited about this event. And so I kind of wanted, we didn't get to hear a little bit of too much backstory from Dylan, but we know he comes from similar background.
Yeah, it's all it's pretty much all the same. Yeah.
Yeah. But we're gonna definitely have them on again, the show, to kind of give us a little bit more detail. But so I want you to definitely, if you're interested in it at all, definitely register for the February 17th through 19th live event that's going to be going on with the Wholesale Formula. And basically it should be able to fast track you so you can start to automate a lot of stuff. So a huge thank you to Dylan and Dan for coming on with us today and kind of giving us a glimpse and just a little bit of a teaser of what we're going to be able to, for free, find out. So that's really exciting. Do you guys have anything more to say, or are you guys good?
No, I think just, my big thing is, like, if the people that if you're excited about this or you're interested or you think like that, you look at us and you hear our accents and you think, oh, these two rednecks, right? Like, if they can do it, I can do it. And you're right, actually. You're definitely right. But you just got to show up. That's all it takes. If you show up and you watch and you experience those 3 days, I promise you'll come out the other side ready to build a successful Amazon business. We've seen it. We've done it many times with very many people. And so it can be you. And I'd love to work with you.
All right. Awesome. Well, thank you again, both, for coming on today. And we're really, really excited to learn more about the Wholesale Formula.
So hopefully you enjoyed getting to know Dan and Dylan. Super cool, just regular old guys. And you hopefully intend on attending the live event that is February 17th, 18th, and 19th from 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern time zone. So remember that it's in the Eastern time zone, 5 to 8 p.m. So find out which time that is for you if you live in a different time zone. But you can click the link down in the description below and register for the event. There's a bunch of free stuff that comes along with that. You'll be able to utilize free resources those 3 particular days. So even though the event is only from 5 to 8, you're going to have access to a bunch of the free stuff that they're going to offer you anytime during the 17th, 18th, and 19th. So I work tons of hours. I'm excited about attending the event as well, and thought that I should just offer it to you guys because it sounded like an amazing opportunity, and the fact that it's free. So that's really fun. So I want to go to the next step in my reselling business and work less, spend more time with my family. And if that's something that you want to do, you might want to definitely look into the Wholesale Formula. And Dan and Dylan will both be there helping us learn the steps to take to be able to fast track us into an empire of our own, right? And it can be as slow or as fast as you want it to go. Sounds like we're going to get the tools there that are needed to kind of jump to the next level. So I'm super excited to learn everything from the Wholesale Formula and to attend the live event on February 17th, 18th, and 19th from 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we will see you guys there. If you would like to attend, remember that link is down in the description below to register, and we will see you guys there. And hopefully you got to know Dan and Dylan and you feel comfortable kind of understanding a glimpse into what we're going to get taught those days. And of course, remember, in the end, Jesus wins. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope you learned something. If you'd like to watch more of my videos, just click on them here. And if you'd like to learn more about the reseller world, subscribe to my channel and check out my other videos. Thanks.